Man, you ever have one of those days where the weather's trying to kill you, your neighbors are losing their minds, and the only thing standing between you and freezing to death is a 45-foot luxury bus? Yeah, that was me last winter in Maplewood Heights, a tidy little suburb in Ohio where the snow falls heavy and the HOA rules hit harder. Let me take you back to that wild night when I went toe-to-toe with the queen of petty tyranny herself. It all started with me on the phone with my mom, juggling a bag of artisanal instant raminspicy miso, sesame chili, and a fancy porcini mushroom one. I was SAVYing for a real crisis, like when my Wi-Fi goes out. "No, Mom," I said, pinning the phone against my shoulder as I rummaged through my pantry. "I'm not DRIVYing to your place. The roads are about to turn into a demolition derby for pissed-off deer." My pantry was a masterpiece. Canned soup, a questionable jar of neon orange cheese powder, and enough granola bars to serve VYV a zombie apocalypse. Yes, I got bread, milk, and that weird powdered cheese you love. Love you too. Don't let any sketchy snowmen in. I hung up, grinning at my setup. My Lee VYing room was ready for war cozy war. I had a hand crank radio that could probably pick up alien transmissions, a mountain of AA batteries for my heated socks, and the crown jewel, a compact propane heater I snagged online from a dude who swore it was Arctic tested. It smelled like wet dog and broken dreams, but it worked. Outside, the wind was picking up, and through my window, I spotted Linda Voss, our HOA dictator, storming down the icy sidewalk. Her clipboard was raised like a battle flag, and she was jabbing a finger at a rogue plastic flamingo on Mrs. Carter's lawn. Linda's hair, a fortress of hairspray, didn't budge in the gale. I swear, she's immune to nature itself. Her only weakness is joy. "Here we go," I muttered, watching her scribble furiously. She was probably finding someone for unapproved snowflake patterns. By afternoon, I ended up at the community center, a soul-sucking room with beige walls and chairs that groaned like they hated their lives. Linda stood at a podium, her voice slicing through the nervous chatter of a dozen residents who looked like they'd rather face the blizzard. "Good afternoon," she announced, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. "A minor weather event is approaching." Minor? The news was showing graphics of penguins huddling on frozen streetlights. The official HOA storm shelter, Unit Delta 9, will be available under strict conditions. She waved a laminated 15-page manifesto titled Operation Ice Bastion, Sanctuary Guidelines. I kid you not, it looked like a Super VY Lane's playbook. Page 1 was probably just a table of contents for why we can't have nice things. Old Mr. Thompson, a guy whose 90-fan tram nerves and 10-fan tram cardigan, raised a shaky hand. President Voss, my dachshund, Muffin, is tiny and doesn't shed. Linda adjusted her glasses, radiating bureaucratic menace. Mr. Thompson, per Regulation 82, Section R, Paragraph 6, non-human entities furred, feathered, or otherwise are banned from Unit Delta 9 without pre-approved documentation, a notarized vet certificate, and a 4-month emotional support permit. She paused, savoring the moment. "In short, no. Muffin stays home." Mr. Thompson looked like he might faint. Muffin's the size of a hot dog and sleeps 20 hours a day. I couldn't hold back. "Linda," I said, louder than I meant, "it's going to be 15 below with wind chill. Are we really arguing over dachshund paperwork when people could freeze?" Her eyes, cold as the storm outside, locked onto me. "It's President Voss, Tom, and protocol is what keeps us from descending into chaos-like neighborhoods with tacky yard signs or non-compliant mailboxes." "Right, because nothing screams safety like a serif font." She shuffled her papers. "Furthermore, a severe violation has been detected in Unit Delta 9. An unauthorized cinnamon apple air freshener was found during my pre-storm air quality audit." The room groaned. "Until the culprit is identified and the scent neutralized, Unit Delta 9 is off-limits." Cinnamon apple. That's the hill she was ready to die on. By evening, the sleet was turning Maplewood into a skating rink. My lights flickered, and my apartment felt like a meat locker. I figured I'd check Unit Delta 9, hoping Linda had grown a heart or the cinnamon bandit had confessed. Fat chance. I found my neighbor Jake, a linebacker-sized guy with a VYB of a confused golden retriever, staring at the shelter door. "Yo, what's up?" he asked, his breath fogging in the cold. "I thought this was the place." "It was," I said, pointing at a shiny new padlock and a laminated sign. "Unit Delta 9 temporarily closed. Unauthorized scent violation. Violators face fines and public reprimand." Linda had actually locked the storm shelter over an air freshener. I was torn between rage and admiration for her sheer audacity. Jake blinked. "So, my place is freezing, and my PlayStation's making sad noises. Now what?" Sad PlayStation noises are a legit crisis, but I was more worried about turning into a popsicle. Then it hit me. My buddy Steve, who runs Elite Escapes, a party bus company trying to go corporate, owed me big time after I saved his website from a crash that nearly sent him back to hawking bootleg concert tees. A grin spread across my face. Steve's bus, the Paragon, was a climate-controlled palace with leather seats and a sound system that could wake the dead. Best of all, it wasn't under Linda's jurisdiction. Game on. My apartment was a fridge by now, power out, my phone at 35 fan tram as I huddled under blankets. I dialed Steve, praying he'd pick up over what sounded like a demolition derby in the background. "Tom, my man," he shouted. "Remember that time you saved my business? Name your price of me car, my goldfish, anything." "No fish, Steve. I need the Paragon. Like yesterday. We've got an ice storm from hell, an HOA president who's banned warmth, and my neighbor's trying to defrost his pizza with positive thinking." Steve laughed. "Say less. The Paragon's a beast. Reggie's DRIVYing. He's probably buffing the Chrome Dragon shifter as we speak." After a torturous whole track-a-banjo version of Sweet Caroline that felt like a war crime, Reggie's voice came through, rough but calm. "Heard you've got a Frost Queen and a need for mobile luxury. The Paragon can handle Armageddon. Be there in 90 minutes. Want the disco lights? Just heat, Reggie. And maybe don't run over the HOA president." Yet, the next hour was torture. The storm was a full-blown tantrum, ice coating everything. Linda was out there in a neon orange poncho, looking like a furious traffic cone, flashing her light at houses for non-regulation snow accumulation. Jake showed up at my door, panicked. "Dude, she's citing a snowman for excessive cheer." And my pipes just groan like they're possessed. "Stay cool, Jake. Help's coming." Linda caught me in my window, her flashlight pinning me like a bug. I waved weakly. She didn't wave back, just scribbled on her clipboard. I was definitely on her hit list. Then I heard Ida low rumble cutting through the wind, followed by the hiss of air brakes. Headlights blazed through the sleet. The Paragon, a sleek black beast that looked like it belonged on a rock star's tour, rolled into our cul-de-sac. Its tires crunched the ice like it was nothing. Reggie gave a thumbs up from the driver's seat, the Chrome Dragon shifter glinting. Curtains twitched across the street. Jake did a happy jig on his porch and nearly face-planted. Linda, mid-VY Tory strut back to her house, froze. Her flashlight hit the ground, and her jaw dropped in pure, unfiltered rage. "Reggie," I yelled as the bus door opened, blasting warm air and the faint smell of cookies. "You glorious maniac." Reggie grinned. "All aboard the USS Comfort. Next stop." Not freezing to death. Linda charged over, slipping but powered by fury. "Tom Larson," she shrieked. "What is this? This monstrosity VY OLADing our sacred covenants." I leaned out, casual as hell. "Evening, President Voss. Just my emergency, Sir VY Val unit. Heated seats, snack bar. Want a tour? This is an unauthorized commercial vehicle," she spat, eyes flexing her hair. "It's a disgrace to our aesthetic standards." "Funny thing, Linda," I said, savoring every word. "It's private property, and right now, it's the warmest spot in this frozen hellscape. Unlike Unit Delta 9, which is what closed due to rogue cinnamon." She whipped out her phone. "I'm calling the cops. This rolling abomination will be towed." Sure enough, a police cruiser slid up, lights flashing. Officers Daniels and Ruiz stepped out, looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. "Officers," Linda wailed, pointing at the bus like it was a UFO. "Arrest this man. He's running an illegal comfort palace. Daniels, a grizzled vet, eyed the bus, then me, shivering by my door, then Linda, who was starting to look like a deranged citrus fruit. "Ma'am," he said, voice like gravel. "What's the crime here besides him being warmer than you?" "It's too big," Linda screeched. "It's unneighborly. He's mocking our bylaws with his heated floors." Ruiz, younger and fighting a grin, chimed in. "Warmth's not illegal, ma'am. Especially tonight. Mayor's practically begging people to stay warm." I stepped forward, hands up. "Officers, Tom Larson. Just trying not to become an ice sculpture. Our shelter's locked over a spicy candle, so I got creative." Daniel sighed, pinching his nose. "Cinnamon apple, right? Unit Delta 9. "The very one," I said. He shook his head. "Linda, we've got real problems downlines, stranded cars, raccoons stealing emergency flares. A guy with a warm bus isn't one of them. Is he blocking anything?" "Nope," I said. "Fire hydrants are clear." Ruiz smirked. "Got hot cocoa in there, sir." "With marshmallows," I said. "Swing by if you're off duty." Daniels clapped his hands. "All right, Linda. Unless this bus starts shooting lasers or hosting a rave, we're Leah VYing. Maybe let the candle thing slide for now." They nodded at me and drove off, Leah VYing, Linda fuming, her clipboard trembling. Jake was already halfway to the bus, grinning like a kid. "Dude, is that a flat screen? Can we watch the game?" Mrs. Carter, whose ancient heater was probably coughing up dust, peeked out. I waved her over. "Mrs. C, we've got room and fresh coffee." Other neighbors, ones who hadn't snitched on my overly festive Christmas lights, started trickling out, eyes hopeful. I made a mental note. No Linda loyalists allowed. This was the Ark, and we were boarding. The storm was apocalyptic now, wind howling, ice snapping branches like twigs. Linda, somehow still functioning, unlocked Unit Delta 9, her poncho flapping like an angry flag. Her loyalists, shivering and miserable, followed her to the dark, damp basement. She waved her arms like she was SAVYing the world. "Unit Delta 9 is open," she shouted, voice lost in the gale. And then, like a scene from a MOVIE, the Paragon rolled up to the community center. Its lights glowed, classic rock thumped, and the smell of Reggie's fresh-baked cookies wafted out. Linda's face was a masterclass in meltdown, confusion, disbelief, then white-hot rage. One of her followers dropped a soggy protein bar, and it vanished into the storm. I leaned out, cocoa in hand. "Hey, President Voss, Unit Delta 9 looks chilly. We've got seats on the Paragon. No cinnamon, but Reggie's got a potpourri he calls Highway Zen. Smells like leather and bad decisions." Jake waved from a window, cookie in hand. Mrs. Carter, wrapped in a plush blanket Reggie conjured, looked like royalty. Linda's crew hesitated, loyalty crumbling as they eyed the warm, cookie-scented bus. Inside, it was paradise, 72 degrees, hot chocolate, and Chad blasting aliens on the gaming system. "These seats massage," he yelled. Mrs. Carter was schooling a nervous guy named Phil at cards, demanding cookies as payment. Reggie spun tales about meeting rock stars, and I charged phones like a tech saint. Outside, Linda prowled, glaring like a soaked cat plotting revenge. Morning came, the storm gone, Leah VYing a glittering, deadly ice world. Power was still out, and word spread. Unit Delta 9 had flooded. A pipe burst because Linda sealed it tight with no heat. The irony was delicious. A repair crew, Hank, and Joe from Quick Fix showed up, shaking their heads. "Try to make a pool out of a shelter," Hank said. "Classic HOA move," Joe added, eyeing the Paragon. "You rode out the storm in that." Respect. They swapped stories of HOA insanity, and I knew I'd found my tribe. Days later, life crawled back to normal. The ice melted, revealing Linda's ruined flowerbed skarmic justice for that flamingo. I was a neighborhood legend now. People waved, smiled, even chatted. Jake asked if the Paragon could do Super Bowl parties. Mrs. Carter slipped me homemade cookies, no apples, and a tiny bottle of whiskey for emergencies. Linda's reign was wobbling. The flooded shelter was a soggy monument to her overreach, and folks were whispering about the great cinnamon debacle. She still tried finding people. One guy got cited for a too enthusiastic trash can, but her spark was dimmer, her poncho a bit sogger. I had one last run-in with her. She was inspecting a flimsy new sign for Unit Delta 9. Storm holding zone, scent neutrality mandatory. I strolled by, humming off-key. "Larson," she said, not looking up. "President Voss," I replied, smirking inside. "That vehicle is gone, I assume." "Oh, the Paragon?" "Yeah, Reggie had a job hauling prize guinea pigs to a convention in Chicago. They're picky about their AC, you know." Linda made a noise like a choked sabor. Maybe her soul finally gave up. She stared at the sign, defeated. My work was done. Maplewood was a little warmer, a little wiser, and way more skeptical of scented candles. And if the worst comes again, I've got Reggie's number. Sometimes, the best way to fight a petty dictator isn't with a fight, it's with a luxury bus, a killer playlist, a cookie-baking driver, and the guts to choose comfort over chaos. You can't write that into a bylaw. So what do you think? Was I wrong to bring in the bus and defy Linda's rules? Or was she way out of line locking up a shelter over a candle? Should HOAs have this much power in a crisis? Or are they just petty kingdoms for control freaks? And, real talk, would you have hopped on the Paragon or stuck it out in that damp basement with Linda? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if you're Team Bus, and subscribe for more wild stories. Let's get this debate rolling.